Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, The Big Wack. Joining us on The Big Wack's Buffalo on the Rise today is Denise Ligammare, who is the Business Development Manager for the Western Division Federal Credit Union.
Yes.
I'm used to saying that, like in letters,
Yeah.
so you don't have to.
Oh, it's from WDFC.
Yeah, that's right. So welcome. Glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Let's talk about, first off, what is Western Division? Let's start with that, something basic. Huh?
Well, just like you were saying, the call letter is WDFCU, or
Right.
that's how most credit unions go by. We go by Western Division, which is basically, we are a credit union in Western New York that we service the Western Division part of New York State. So anybody in Western New York can use our financial services that we have at the credit union.
That was the question I was going to ask you. Now, like first, are credit unions different than banks? So we can get to that in a second, but restrictions. So there are restrictions to what members you can have with the credit union?
Well, Buffalo has many credit unions that are in there. Some were started by churches, some were started by employers, some were started by school districts. And basically what has happened over the years is that a lot of credit unions have become communities. So they're community-based. So anybody who lives, works, worships, or go to school within certain counties can belong to that credit union. In Western Division, we service the 8 counties of the Western New York area.
So when somebody comes in, do you question, when they're filling out an application or whatever, have you ever had to say, oh, gee, I'm sorry, you can't belong because?
Well, if all of a sudden we look at their address and they're from Florida,
Right.
we're
Yeah.
like, hey, how are you eligible for the credit union? Or how did you hear about us? And then we can divulge it that way on how they're eligible for membership. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Like I said, we had someone call us from Florida the other day. Was Googling, our rates came up, but unfortunately, we weren't able to provide service because they did live in Florida and they had no ties to the Western New York area.
What about snowbirds?
Snowbirds, absolutely snowbirds. Once you're a member of the credit union, wherever you go in the world,
Really?
you automatically take your credit union with you.
Oh, well, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
How do credit unions differ from banks?
Credit unions and banks, and the similarities are that we offer all the same products and services. Your savings, your checking, your loans, your mortgages, your investments. Differences is banks are for-profit financial institutions, so any type of money or profits that they make, they pay off to their shareholders. Where at a credit union, we are not-for-profit. So basically what that means is that any types of fees or income that we make, we pay back to our shareholders, but our shareholders are not corporations or anything like that. They're every single person that uses us. And that leads me into one of the things that Western Division does different than any other credit union in this area, is that we pay our members what's called a patronage dividend. And so basically, when you bank with us, we pay you back by saying thank you for using our cooperative. So since 2003, we've been paying this patronage dividend to our members, and we usually pay it the week of Thanksgiving, which seems to be nice. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Here you go, here's some extra money for you. But we take a look at any type of savings and loans that you have with us, and we actually pay more dividends than what was paid during the year on savings, and we refund you back some of the interest that you paid on your loan during the year when the credit union does well. And we've been doing very well. So like I said, since 2003, we pay back approximately almost $1 million every year to our members at Western Division. And to date, we've been almost to 13 million.
Isn't it amazing to think about something that actually gives you money back?
Especially
nowadays?
in banking.
Oh, yeah. Hey, is this a busy time of the year for you, tax season? Is it?
It's tax season, it's more people wondering what's your routing and transit number, how do I get my deposit into the account and things like that. But this time of year is basically all about consolidation. A lot of people taking a look at their finances, seeing where they can save more money on the loans, earn more money on savings accounts. And so we're helping our members guide through that, or new members that come into the credit union. So we kind of doing it that way, especially with our Ditch the Debt. I know we talked about that last time I was on the program. So the Ditch the Debt, it's a consolidation on a credit card. So instead, everybody always saw those 0% offers at the beginning of the new year. And 0% is not always better, as we tell everybody. With 0% offers, you usually have to pay a balance transfer fee of 3 to 5% of the balance that you're transferring over. And then after usually 12 months of 0%, it goes up to like 24%. So we made it a little bit better. We made the Ditch the Debt is our credit card is at 6.99%. You can consolidate anything in with no balance transfer fees at all, and we give you however long you want to pay off that loan, and it stays at the 6.99%. So it's actually a better deal for you.
Well, I was thinking probably after COVID, when people were stuck home for a long period of time, they got to looking at things and saying, We've got to change
Yeah,
this.
does this really make sense? And that was a very bad time in the environment,
Right.
rate-wise, to
Right.
try and make a move. And we're kind of moving out of that now, where you're starting to see, prime rate is starting to go back down. Hopefully the housing market will start to equal itself out and things like that. So people are starting, I think, to look again to be like, okay, am I getting the best deal where I'm at right now? And they're starting to do more of the rate shopping, not just when they're buying, but now to like refinance, consolidate, and see if they can get a better deal.
We've got about a minute and a half left. What about home equities? Are they still a thing?
Home equities, you were talking about, are we busy during tax season?
Right.
But no, we're busy now with home equities. So it was funny, I was reading something in USA Today the other day where Zillow puts out the top 10 areas in the country
Right.
for house values.
Buffalo.
And Western New
Yeah,
York
Buffalo, Western
made
New
the
York.
list. They're right up in the top 10. And the reason why that is because our house values are really increased and holding their value. So if you're purchasing a house, not so much in your favor, but if you own a home, the equity that's in your house right now could work very well for you. And so that goes for, talking back to COVID, a lot of us stayed home, started being like, oh, I think I'm gonna stay in my house. I think I'm gonna redo the kitchen. Maybe I want a pool in the backyard and things like that. So using the equity in your home to do that makes so much more sense than either a credit card or like a department store or
Something
a
like
home
that.
improvement store card.
Denise Ligammare, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Western Division Federal Credit Union by calling 716-500-LOAN or go to westerndivision.org. Sponsorship and promotional considerations for the preceding segment was provided by Western Division Federal Credit Union. And just a reminder to join me weekday mornings, 7 to 9 a.m. on Buffalo's oldie station, The Big Weck.